My name's Charlie, and I've got my hat back. Also, Saw 3. So Saw 3 is the third installment in the endless money-making machine that is the Saw series, and it was actually intended to be the last in the series at the time, and considering it was my first film in the series that I'd watched, this was a bit of a blow for me back then, but yeah, it made the biggest opening out of the entire franchise since and before, and they just went on and on and on with it. So yeah. This being my first Saw film is kind of unnerving considering the amount of blood and gore that was in this one compared to the previous two. It follows a good 2 or 3 stories during the film's running time, one of which is the story of Lynn, who is trapped in Jigsaw's workshop with Amanda and Jigsaw, who's now on his deathbed. Another is Jeff's gauntlet as he comes face to face with people that were responsible for his son's killing. And the third is random traps being found by the police, because torture porn. Lynn's story is awesome, and although I call it Lynn's story, it's all really about Amanda and Jigsaw's relationship. Let's get Lynn out of the way first. She's a surgeon that's pretty much taking her life for granted like most of the other people in this series. So it kind of makes her a perfect candidate to keep Jigsaw alive, which is her role in this film. But yeah, Jigsaw and Amanda. Yeah, onto the relationship between Jigsaw and Amanda. Their performance of the two actors is amazing in this film, which is all the more better considering that this is the first time that they've shared the screen together. Their chemistry together is just fantastic, with the whole father-daughter sort of thing, but also a teacher-student thing going at the same time. Also, Lynn's there, but her role is pretty much just to keep Jigsaw alive until Jeff passes his gauntlet. So Jeff's gauntlet is about Jeff, who is coming face to face with the people that are either responsible for his son's death or the killer's short sentence. This was really cool because for the first time it put the lives of these people in the hands of another person, which I thought was a really cool idea. And it really shows the human side of anyone. Like, despite Jeff's hatred of these people and how he's fantasized about meeting them one day, he still has a conscience, and that's where the inner conflict in his character comes from. Despite some of the more over-the-top traps like the rack, the hooks, the angel wing trap, and the operation scene, which was... that was hard to sit through. The film has some amazing character interaction and development, which is the strongest suit in pretty much every Saw, or almost every Saw film. The highlight, of course, being Tobin Bell's Jigsaw and Shawnee Smith's Amanda, who just put their heart and soul into their performances and have amazing chemistry together. Obviously, they aren't going to win any Oscars for this, but that's a different topic for another time. In the end, Saw 3 is a great end to a trilogy. And yes, I'm fine with saying trilogy, considering I split the series up into trilogy, a bridge, and then another trilogy. Like the ones before it, it has some twists in it, but these ones weren't as good as the previous ones. One is pretty good, another is okay but predictable, and the other was really unnecessary, considering they're ending a trilogy on it as well. It was just... Saw 3 is what some consider to be the peak of the Saw franchise, and I can understand why. It's not my personal favourite, but considering how downhill it goes after this, yeah, I understand why they consider this the peak. So what is your favourite final part of the trilogy? I know it's a cop-out, but mine's Return of the Jedi. If it weren't for the Ewoks, it would actually probably be my favourite Star Wars film. Yeah, I will put my life on the line defending that film despite the Ewoks. Ewoks suck, but I love that film. As always, I'm Charlie, and that's what's been distracting me.